Water, energy, transport, and food make 75% of the business of the Asian Development Bank. So it is really business, it's survival, is also something that we do to the countries to make development impact. So we need to get this business right. In this context of the nexus, how to do now water and energy, energy and food, or water, energy, and food, the integrated approach that talks about. Frankly, we need to move into this kind of business. It's complex, but this is the kind of challenge that we're committed. Just think of this. How to put the Ministry of Water and Ministry of Energy together to design one project. I think you may talk all kind of integration. It's very difficult. But nonetheless, we got to do it. I won't elaborate further. What I'm going to do is we did 3 major studies, which we'll be launching later. One on energy security, second on water security, then the food security. And we certainly want to look this in the long-term framework. Before I do that, let me just first give you one statistics from one of our study. By 2050, 70% of the Asians are going to live in the cities. I mentioned this number yesterday. And 3 billion Asians will be in the middle class. So it's going to need more energy, more food, more water, all in the cities. That's a very, very complex exercise one has to deal with. We also heard in this seminar this morning, there is enough water, there is enough energy, there is enough food, don't worry about it. But it's not going to happen with the business as usual approach. And Mr. Bamshi, as you repeated what my president said this morning, we need to start thinking differently. And what is that? What does that mean? We need to start thinking differently. In our case, we also need to start doing differently. Now, let me tell you, in the energy sector, we're funding a lot of innovative projects in renewable energy efficiencies, just to mention a few. Best practice, as my friend mentioned, we bring it, something then which is scalable in the countries. That we do. However, when you look at the Asia-Pacific region, if you look at the energy mix, which you'll see in our study, the coal, gas, oil will predominantly still be there. We need to be able to advise them how to move into the best technologies for coal, into the gas, etc. And this is where Mr. Acharya said the policy, technology, the pricing are going to be extremely, extremely important, and the role of the private sector becomes very important. And we are committed to doing public-private partnership more because the public sector, when it works with the private sector, looks for a very honest advisor. And this is where multilateral banks, in my opinion, can provide, and we are, I think, reasonably good in doing that job. The area which is also completely forgotten, and I don't hear much in this seminar, is the energy in the transport sector. It's a huge challenge. You look at all the statistics, next 10 years, nothing is going to change. And therefore, we need to be bringing the energy transport into that equation. On the water security, again, that study talks about all kinds of security. But let me tell you one thing, which is you can't think water as a one-time commodity. We drink it and forget about it. We need to be able to think in terms of 3 R's: reduce, reuse, recycle. And this is possible. It is not done because, not of the lack of technology, because of the right policies or not having a right pricing policy, etc., etc. Second, I always get confused why, with so many water supply systems we're building in developing countries, except in few countries like Japan, Korea, Singapore, Hong Kong, we can't drink water from the tap. When are you going to provide safe and drinkable water 24 hours? I think this is a challenge one has to take. It's just not only providing water, providing safe, drinkable water. The third area, to me, which for the bank where we need to get involved, is what happens when really climate change impact that brings flooding in the cities. Billions of dollars of losses suddenly happens. How do you climate-proof your investment in future? We are looking into this, but I tell you, the science is imperfect. the data at the local level is just not there. So on one hand, although we're multilateral bank, we need to be developing these data. On the other hand, trying to be investment. I think there is some work others could do on this area as well. And finally, what I see in the water is the private sector is not very active. There's not enough public-private partnership work on this, whatever may be the reason. Again, it may be the public sector, or it may be the private sector who might be looking for resources. Now, coming back to the food security, as I said, if 70% of the people are going to live in the cities, there are very few people in the rural areas. In today's world, a farmer's son doesn't want to become a farmer. That son likes to become just one of us. And therefore, we need to find a way to produce more food with less water, less energy, and we need to be able to grow food, not like a farmer. That's what he or she should be the CEO of a farm. And this is the mindset and the ways of doing agriculture that has to change. Technology can do that. But we've also seen from our study there's not enough research in the field of agriculture. Look at the green revolution of the past. It was on increasing the quantity of the yield. Today, the food security issue is not only one of quantity, but is one of nutrition. And we have a nutrition security issue in this part of the world. It's an issue relating to natural resources, limited water, limited this, and the climate change. So the whole agriculture sector has to be look different. And the second issue I would mention is the importance of focusing on the food value chain. This is where each country would need to look at it, and this is where the private sector is very, very active. So in short, the agriculture, we need to look at business, not only as a subsistence, which we haven't done it. Again, to end up by saying once again, we're thinking every day, and we do have a midterm strategy. Our president sitting right there who is bringing this new thinking, and I hope we'll be able to bring in more new actions on the ground. Wish us luck. Thank you.